Hey, good morning, everyone. Or it's really afternoon now, isn't it? Robert, RJL 518. I'm still going to say COVID edition because I still tested positive. The last time I got my results was Wednesday. I'm actually feeling pretty good, so I'm going to get tested again tomorrow. And hopefully I come away with hopefully I come away negative this time so I can return to work. This is Marvel Champions, Spider-Man versus Klaw this time. And we're using the Spider-Man starter deck, which these starter decks stink. Klaw is a big pain in the butt. And even if you have the newest cards and even if you put together the best deck you possibly can, Klaw with with the module he uses from the core set, the Masters of Evil, is a real pain in the butt. So I already practiced a little bit against him, and he can be a real pain. So this is Klaw stage 1, and when Klaw attacks, you give him an additional boost card for the activation. So we actually get 2 boost cards every time he attacks. We start with Underground Distribution. Search the encounter deck for the Defense Network side scheme and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck and advance to stage 1B. So automatically, even though I shuffle the encounter deck, we look for this side scheme. So it already starts with the side scheme in play, which is Defense Network, which means that automatically 2 threat go on Defense Network. So we'll see what we do here. My rules in Marvel Champions are if I lose early before I get him to stage 1, before I get him to the next stage, I will play again with the hero with the same deck. I'll start another game real quick. But if I lose in the second stage, if I get him to stage 2 and I still lose, the hero, I consider the hero defeated. But we stay on that villain Klaw, and the next hero will be up next. I have beaten every villain and heroes. Welcome, Steeler fan, to some Marvel Champions. Hope you enjoy a little bit. I have played with every hero in the game. I just received Vision. I'm awaiting Valkyrie to come in. I have played against every villain. I've beaten every villain, and I've beaten every hero with pre-made deck, with my own decks. But I want to try to beat every villain with a starter deck, and that is really not an easy thing to do. So, all right. So then we go ahead and advance to stage 1B, and it says discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engage with the first player. Now, the thing about this is you're hoping that the minion you get is maybe just a simple minion, but unfortunately, you sometimes get the tough minions early, and there we go. So already, Tiger Shark is already in there. So he's already in there for it. So we already have Defense Network, and I can't take threat off the scheme. Klaw is a big pain in the butt. I'll turn the lights on so everybody can see a little better. And here we go. So Spider-Man versus Klaw. We start with Peter Parker, of course. So I'll reshuffle in front of you guys here. So good to see you, Steeler fan. How about those football games yesterday? Both number 1 seeds eliminated at home. I don't know when the last time. I don't remember the last time that was happened in the divisional playoff round. We'll draw 6 cards for Peter Parker here. Great Responsibility, Spider Trace, Interrogation Room, Nick Fury, Swinging Web Kick, and Mockingbird. I will keep Mockingbird. I will keep Nick Fury. I will keep the Swinging Web Kick, and I will get rid of that, get rid of the Spider Tracer, and I will get rid of Great Responsibility. So we get 3 more cards. Backflip, Genius, and Jessica Jones, starting with the allies. That's really good to have as allies. As allies. So let's see what we got here. So first player, of course, starts with Peter Parker. And I always like to have the reference cards here for the game. All right, so Let's play a little Marvel Champions. So so it is our turn. We of course start first. And let's see. Peter Parker, he generates a wild resource automatically when we get him. So we're going to flip him over here. And I'm going to flip him over. And I got to deal with Tiger Shark. I got to get him out of there. So he generates a resource. And we're going to use 2 Genius to play a swinging web kick, which will deal 8 damage to an enemy. So that gets him out of there right there. So he only had toughness of 6. And Spider-Man is going to... We're then going to play Backflip, Nick Fury, and I'm going to bring out Jessica Jones. And I'm going to bring out Mockingbird instead. Put those there. AFC game was lousy. We didn't mind seeing Green Bay lose. I agree. Mockingbird is going to stun. She comes out. She stuns Klaw right there. And she's going to thwart for 1. Spider-Man thwarts for 1, which removes this scheme out of there. Just like that. So it's not a bad start. She gets in on that. Yeah, the AFC game was great. I had no problem with the Bengals beating Tennessee, and I really didn't think Tennessee was that good. That game between Green Bay and San Francisco was horrible. It was, but not because of the weather, just because each team was inept. They couldn't do anything. And San Francisco being Green Bay, I know for a fact that that is not what the NFL wanted. All right, so Tannehill is a bum, though. Yeah, I know he did. He's a bum. Now people wonder why Miami got rid of him, although he does better in Tennessee than he did down here in the Dolphin world. All right, so we'll probably get First Aid, Energy for Justice, a Haymaker, and we get Daredevil. So that's pretty good right there. So that's a good start for us as we automatically get rid of the side scheme. Okay. Klaw's turn. So Klaw going to put a threat on the scheme. We stunned him, so he does not generate an attack. So we go straight to the encounter card, and it is Eviction Notice, which is terrific to get that early on. I tell you, the encounter deck has not been good to me since with these Eviction Notice. You may flip to Alter Ego form, choose 1, exhaust Peter Parker, remove Eviction Notice from the game, discard 1 card at random. He's going to flip, and it will exhaust him, and that will take care of Eviction Notice. So that's out of there. So that kind of stunk. All right, so flip over, which means he's going to scheme on the next turn, which is not good. All right, so it is back to us. And we are going to go ahead and use Energy and First Aid. Energy and First Aid, and we're going to use the Haymaker and bring out Daredevil. So we get another ally out. I'll keep for Justice. And Daredevil is going to thwart for 2, which actually gets rid of that. And that does a damage to Klaw because he deals 1 damage to an enemy. Daredevil thwarts, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So now we have some help here to thwart with. I'm going to keep for Justice and draw 5 cards. Actually, generates a resource. I'm actually going to keep. I'm going to dump First Base Date anyway. I didn't like the card, so we get here. Then on a Kansas City Tampa Bay Super Bowl rematch. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking we're probably going to have. Spider Sense, Backflip, Surveillance Team, Webbed Up, and Black Cat. So we're getting our allies pretty early here in this deck. All right, so I got Daredevil and Mockingbird and Klaw this time here. So we'll see what he does. So. All right, so nothing happens there. Now it's his turn. And a threat goes on the scheme. He will scheme for 2 plus... Wow, that's a terrible card. He schemes for 2, and then he gets 3 boost here, which makes him 5. And that, just like that, it goes right to the next scheme. Oh, man. Just like that. So now we go to Secret Rendezvous. Boy, he got the best card he could get in order to scheme with. Man, that stinks. So we go straight to Secret Rendezvous. And discard cards from the counter deck until a minion is discarded. Melter is out there, so that's there. and now advance to stage 2B. So we're already in the second stage already. And for Secret Rendezvous, we need 8. Great. Well, just like that, just because of that, that really stinks. All right. Well, that's what happens sometimes. All right, so Peter Parker generates a resource. I got Melter out there. The engaged player must defend against Melter's attacks with an ally they control if able. So let's see here. So Peter Parker. At least I can do some damage possible if I can here. Peter Parker is going to flip, generates a resource, he flips. He's going to attack for 2 on Melter. 2 for Melter. Daredevil is going to attack for 2 on Melter. Mockingbird attacks for 1 on Melter, which will take him out. Which gets rid of him. So another minion is already out of there. But that stunk. Because now I already have to deal with the second stage. And let's see. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put out, let's see. Bet you altered your decks to put Banes in the villain deck and Swift in the hero deck. Banes, let's put it this way. Banes is such a worthless villain. I wouldn't even put him in the villain deck. Matter of fact, I threw that card away. He was so worthless. I'm gonna do here. We're gonna play. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play Webbed Up. So I'm gonna play black. I'm gonna get rid of For Justice, Enhanced Spider Sense, Backflip, and the Surveillance Team in order to play Webbed Up, which will keep Klaw busy for 2 turns. I'll keep Black Cat. And I'll keep Black Cat, and we'll end our turn. We get 4 cards. We get Swinging Web Kip, Web Shooter, Interrogation Room. That is nice to have. All right, so Klaw is webbed up, which means he really can't attack me for 2 turns. All right, so his turn. So a Rendezvous goes on the threat. He cannot attack, so webbed up goes away, but he is stunned because he gets this. So I don't have to worry about an attack. We get an encounter card, and it is Weapons Runner. Surge. So we'll draw another one, and it is a Legal Arms Factory. So 3 threat goes on that. So 3 threat goes on a Legal Arms Factory. When revealed, place an additional 1 threat there. So actually, 3, place an additional 1 per player. So actually, it's 4. So 4 threat goes on a Legal Arms Factory. Terrific. Okay, so Klaw is still in level 1. I'm already on the second brew of the stage, which is not what I wanted. I got to take care of a Legal Arms Factory. So what we got here. Okay, so oh boy. Okay, we're going to use 1 web shooter to put out Interrogation Room. Put out Interrogation Room. Remember, these are starter decks. These decks are usually not that strong. So after you defeat a minion, so Spider-Man's going to attack for 2, get rid of Weapons Runner. After you defeat a minion, exhaust Interrogation Room, remove 1 threat from a scheme. There it goes. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to play the other web shooter on Swinging Web Kick to bring out Black Cat. And Black Cat is going to thwart for 1, which puts a damage on her. And bring that down to 2. And I have no choice. I actually got to get rid of these guys. Mockingbird is going to be fine. Daredevil is going to thwart for 2, which will remove him, but will do a damage to an enemy. So he's now down to 10. Mockingbird will stay there, and the Legal Arms Factory is gone. The thing about playing starter decks is you got to be patient with them. You got to be patient. You got to wait your turn to do the job on the villain. And that's going to be it. We'll end our turn. Draw 5. Tenacity, Strength, Heroic Intuition, Spider Tracer, and Heroic Intuition. And that will be his turn now. So 1 threat goes on Secret Rendezvous. He cannot attack. He is stunned. And now he can attack the next turn. And counter card, Masters of Mayhem. Each Masters of Evil minion attacks the hero is engaged with. If no attacks were made this way, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Masters of Evil minion and put it into play. Engage with you, then shuffle the encounter deck. Well, we don't have one engaged. And that was Shadow of the Past. For some reason, that was flipped up. It doesn't matter. We've got to search for a Masters of Evil minion. And that is going. And the problem with doing this is it makes the encounter deck go bad, or makes it go faster. So Whirlwind joins in the fight now. So now I got to deal with Whirlwind. All right. Whirlwind's got 6 points. It does 6 damage. All right. We're going to... We're going to put down... Dang, this is not really good. Okay, so Whirlwind is in there. As I said, Klaw's a real pain in the butt. All right, so Spider-Man, got to get Whirlwind out of there. Got to take him out. So we're going to go ahead and play Heroic Intuition for Tenacity and Spider Tracer for Tenacity. Spider-Man will attack for 2, putting 2 on Whirlwind, and both of these are going to have to attack, so they're both going to be gone. So, well, Black Cat isn't gone. She attacks for 1. Good there. Mockingbird attacks for 1, which will take her out. Attacks for 1. Then we're going to play Strength, which gives us physical resource, which spend a resource to discard this card, ready your hero. Spider-Man readies, and he will attack for 2 and get Whirlwind out of here. And after you defeat a minion, exhaust it, which we will, removes a threat from the scheme. And I have Heroic Intuition. I'm really not a fan of this card. That much. Your hero gets +1 thwart, though. I may need that. I can't flip over. Klaw's going to attack, but Black Cat can defend for me. So this card here, I'm going to scap it. I'm just going to take 5 straight. Scrap it. We get Aunt May, Avengers Mansion, Power of Justice, Great Responsibility, and Helicarrier. All right, and ready, of course, the cards. All right. 1 threat goes on the scheme for Klaw. He attacks. Spider-Man draws a card on the attack, getting a swinging web kick. He attacks for 0, but he gets additional boost. So he attacks for 0 plus 0 plus 1. So he only does 1 point of damage. I decided to let Spider-Man take it. So he goes down to 9. And we get an encounter card, and it is the Masters of Evil scheme. Wonderful. Discard cards from the encounter deck until a Masters of Evil minion is discarded. Put that minion to play, engage the first player. I can't get away from these friggin' minions. So the minion that's coming out is Radioactive Man. I can't get rid of these minions. Dang, they keep on showing up. All right, and the encounter card set is already almost done, which will increase the speed of the scheme. Wow. All right. All right. So what do we do? Well, Spider-Man is going to attack for 2. Attack for 2. Actually, you know what? No, he's not going to do it that way. My bad. Let's change that. We have a swinging web kick, which I actually have to use here. So swinging web kick will use Avengers Mansion, the Power of Justice, and Great Responsibility for the swinging web kick. So that's 3 resources for that. Deal 8 damage to an enemy, so that knocks him out. Interrogation Room is gone. We exhaust that, and that removes a threat from this. Moves a threat from a scheme. We're going to take it off of this one. And then Spider-Man will thwart for 1. She will thwart for 1, which will take her out. But that gets the Masters of Evil scheme out of here. We will play Helicarrier to bring out Aunt May, because Aunt May is very, very important to him. And even though I like to keep Helicarrier, but you gotta... Sometimes when we play starter decks, you actually have to build an engine in order to beat the villain. But Klaw, as I said, is a real pain in the butt. We'll ready him again. We'll stay in hero mode, getting 5 cards. And Spider Sense, Emergency Surveillance Team for Justice, and the Power of Justice. All right. So it is his turn, and he will attack for 0. Spider-Man's going to take it. So 0 plus 1 plus 1 is 2. So Spider-Man is now down to 7. Get an encounter card, and it is Advance the Villain Schemes. That's great. So 2 plus Boost. If this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. It does not. So he schemes for 2, and that is it. But this now gets that because the encounter deck has been done there. He does get 2. So he schemed for 2, but that is all he schemed for. So now there is 4 on Secret Rendezvous. This is not too good for us at the moment. We're not even done with Klaw yet in stage 1. All right. And it is our turn. But the thing is, we have a clear shot at Klaw, but I can't do anything with that. So well, I could have used Enhanced Spider Sense, but we'll save that. All right, we're going to use the Power of Justice and remove 3 threat from a scheme, 4 threat instead. If you pay for this card using a mental resource, these are wild resources, so we're going to move 4 threat from the scheme, so all of these go away. All those go away. And let's see. We're going to use we are going to attack for 2 and bring Klaw down to 8. Like I said, my rule is if I don't beat him in his first stage, I get another try. And if I don't beat him in the second stage, then we move on to the next hero for the next time we do this. All right. And he will flip over. I'm going to take a chance and let him scheme. So flip over. No, actually, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to flip over. He's going to stay as he is. We're going to use Enhanced Spider Sense and Emergency to bring out the Surveillance team with 3 sleep counters, which will allow us to remove threat from a scheme. This is really not looking good for us at the moment. I really can't do anything here. We get 1 card. It is webbed up, and that gives us an encounter card. Having him scheme into the second stage of the scheme already was bad, and I got hit with his minions early. One, two, three, 4. And we get First Aid, Heroic Intuition, Daredevil, and Spider Tracer. All right. Okay, so Klaw attacks. First 2 threat go on the main scheme. So 2 threat go on the main scheme. Klaw attacks for 2. Spider-Man's going to defend here. So 2 plus 1. So 2 boost cards, so 0, so 1. And that's it. So we only did 1, so nothing hit me on that. I could have just taken it if I'd have known that. All right, so nothing happens. You need to draw an encounter card. First encounter card is Sonic Boom. Either spend resources or exhaust each character you control. He's already exhausted, so he's already exhausted. So this actually doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything. He's already exhausted. And the second encounter card is Advance the Villain Schemes. Here we go. So he schemes for 2 plus 0. So he schemes for 2 more. Wonderful. All right. So back to us. Back to us. Back to us. Spider-Man Surveillance team will exhaust and remove a threat. Move a threat. I'm going to play First Aid, Heroic Intuition, Webbed Up, and Spider Tracer to put down Daredevil. Get an ally on the group. He will thwart for 2, which does a damage to Klaw, which will bring him down to 7. Spider-Man is going to... He is going to... I have no cards left, so I think I should flip and let Klaw scheme. I'm going to flip over. Yeah, May will heal me back to 10. Even though I got Daredevil, that can help me shield, but I'd like to keep him a while for another turn. And that's it for that. Get 6 cards. I'm going to let him scheme and see if we can beat it. Enhanced Spider Sense for Justice. That's what I was hoping I would get, because I'm going to probably need that card after this turn. All right. So, Klaw. So 2 threat on the scheme. So it is at 3. Klaw schemes for 2. If he gets 3 on this boost card, he wins. And he got nothing. Boost give the villain a tough status card, though, so he gets a tough. He gets a tough status card, though, so he got nothing. So all he got was 2 extra on the scheme. It's now up to 5. And now an encounter card. If this encounter card means he schemes, he's probably going to win. And it is Sound Manipulation. When revealed, Alter Ego. Klaw heals 4 damage. If no damage was healed this way, this card gains Surge. So all that damage I did to him, he now goes back to 11. As I said, Klaw is a real pain in the butt, especially with a starter deck. I can't even get through stage 1 Klaw yet. All right. All right. Aunt May, let's see. Peter Parker generates a resource. Surveillance team is going to remove a threat from the scheme. And he generates a resource. And he will flip. Generates a resource. And we're going to play... generates a resource. But I'm going to play the Power of Justice anyway. Double the number of resources this card generates while paying for a Justice card. So that's 2 for 2. So we're going to play for Justice, which will go ahead and take all this threat off. Lose all the threat. And I'm going to put out Strength and put out another surveillance team. So we're now going to have 2 surveillance teams out there, which will probably help me a little bit with the threat. We'll keep for Justice and enhance Spider Sense. Spider-Man attacks for 2. Getting rid of the Tough status card. And Daredevil will attack for 2. And bringing Klaw back down to 9. And we get 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Emergency, Backflip, and Energy. And we will now end our turn. All right. All right, so 2 threat go on the scheme. Secret Rendezvous. Klaw attacks. And he attacks. I draw a card. We're getting enhanced Spider Sense. Klaw attacks for 2. He attacks 0 plus this, nothing there. Discard 1 card at random from your hand for 0. And gets 2 there. So he gets 2 points of damage. And I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the 2 points of damage. And it says discard 1 card at random for your hand, which we have to do real quick because that was the boost. Six. I lost enhanced Spider Sense. All right. You get an encounter card, and it is Klaw's Vengeance. Klaw attacks you. If this attack deals damage, place 1 threat on the main scheme. All right. Well, he attacks me. So 0 plus, which means I get a card. And I get Web Shooter. So Klaw attacks me for 0 plus 1 plus 0. I'll put a threat on the scheme. I'll take the damage. And 7. Klaw's Vengeance. That's all that does it? Yeah. If the attack deals damage, place a threat on the main scheme. It did damage, but that is all. I'm going to take it. We're still doing pretty good here right now. But the good news is there's no minions in front of me except the main scheme. So that's not bad. And we got ways to deal with this a little bit. All right. So it is our turn. The surveillance teams will take off 2 threat. Daredevil he's going to stay there. And we are going to, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to change my mind on that. We'll keep surveillance teams. But instead, I want to use Energy and play for Justice, which removes 3 threat from a scheme. You pay 4. If you use 4 threat, if you're using a mental resource, we're using an energy resource, but that's okay. There were only 3 threat on there, so that's better. So I can save the surveillance teams for a different turn. We're going to play Emergency to put out a Web Shooter, which generates Which generates resources, which we could use. We're going to keep Enhanced Spider Sense and Backflip. Spider-Man's going to attack for 2, bringing Klaw back down to 7. Daredevil, I'm going to keep him. I don't want him to hit. I like to keep him for defense. So we'll end our turn that way. So 1, getting 3 cards. Mockingbird, Aggression, and a Swimming Web Kick. That's pretty good. Okay. So back to Klaw's turn. Here. He gets 2 threat. The scheme is what's really messing me up. If I was still on the first scheme, I think I probably would have already knocked Klaw down. So Klaw's going to attack. And Spider-Man, he's going to attack. Spider-Man, I think, can take it. Although I have Mockingbird as an ally now, I'm going to let Spider-Man defend anyway. So Spider-Man's going to defend. He attacks. We get a card. We get Interrogation Room. He attacks for 0 plus 2. Bye-bye, Shadow of the Past. Plus 1 is 3. He defended for 3, so no damage on Spider-Man. We get an encounter card, and it is Weapons Runner, Surge. And we get Gang Up. When revealed, hero, the villain, and each minion engaged with you attacks you. Okay, but we're gonna play back. We're gonna play. We're gonna play Enhanced Backflip to play Enhanced Spider Sense, which will cancel its when revealed effect. Since I know Shadows of the Past went away, I can actually now use that card for a better thing. So they will not attack me. That kills the when revealed effect, so that prevents that attack. So I don't have to worry about getting hit again on that. So it is our turn. All right. So Daredevil is going to attack for 2, which will take him out. And he's going to kick the Weapons Runner out of there. And we are going to... I got a Swinging Web Kick here. I can knock Klaw into the second and the next round. But the thing about it is I don't know if I have an engine ready to knock out Klaw a second time. I may have to wait. Web Shooter is going to generate a resource. And we're going to use Interrogation Room and Heroic Intuition to put out Mockingbird. Mockingbird stuns him, so I don't have to worry about an attack from him. An attack for him. And she is going to thwart, or is she going to attack? She's going to attack for 1 on him. Bring him down to 6. And the surveillance teams are going to exhaust, so this one will go away. That goes there to take the 2 threat off of this scheme. And we're going to keep the Swinging Web Kick, and we're going to end our turn. And we draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another Swinging Web Kick, Genius, Great Responsibility, and Spider Tracer. All right. Okay, so once again, 2 threat goes on the scheme. Klaw can't attack. He is stunned. So we go straight to the encounter card. We're hoping for a good encounter card that doesn't do much damage. But of course, it is a minion and it is Whirlwind. When Whirlwind attacks you, resolve his attack against each other hero. So I got to deal with him. So because the minion shows up, I can't do anything on Klaw. As I said, playing the starter decks, patience. Got to play patiently. If I was playing Spider-Man with some of the aggression decks I put together, Klaw would already been beaten. All right. Okay. So I got to deal with him. So we'll play Genius. And great responsibility to play the 8-point swinging web kick, which says, bye-bye, Whirlwind. You're out of there. And, I probably could have, you know what? Instead, besides that, I'm going to play the other swinging web kick to put the Spider Tracer on him. So when attached minion is defeated, remove 3 threat from the scheme. So let's say I played that first, then I played that, and then I did the other stuff. So that actually removes the 3 threat from the scheme, which is good, since I don't have to use the surveillance team. And Spider-Man can go ahead and attack for 2. She can attack for 1 and bring him down to 3. I could use the web shooter as well, but we'll save it. Since you have the cards, use them. And that is our turn. And of course, she gets a damage on her. And we get 5 cards. For those of you who don't know how to play this game, I recommend going to Dale the Casual Gamer. He is pretty much a master at this game. He knows the game inside and out, and one of the reasons why I play the way I do is because it's the way he plays, actually, his heroes and such. He puts together very good decks depending on the villain and depending on the hero, of course. He has played every hero. He has played every villain. So really, guys, if you want to know, I'm really not here to teach the game. For those of you who want to learn how to play it, please check out Dale the Casual Gamer. He is really, really good. He goes through each movement he does to show you exactly how he plays. So please check him out. He is a friend of ID Jester. Well, he knows ID Jester. They've talked many a time. So, of course, an ID Jester, of course, plays this game. So watch his videos as well. He knows the game pretty well as himself. So please check out. Go ahead and please check him out. So please, Dale the Casual Gamer and ID Jester, who also play Marvel Champions. All right, so it is Klaw's turn. So once again, 2 threat on the scheme. And Klaw attacks. Mockingbird is going to defend it. So he attacks for 0 plus 0 plus 1. And that's just enough to get her out. I could have just let Spider-Man take it. Of course, Spider-Man gets a card due to the attack. And, we get Nick Fury. That's good to have. Probably didn't have to deal with it. All right. So, and we get an encounter card, and it is Sound Manipulation. Take 2 damage. Klaw, when revealed as hero, take 2 damage. Klaw heals 2 damage. So Klaw again gets back to 5. And Spider-Man is now down to 5. So, but there are no minions in my way. So I can go after Klaw here and maybe knock him into the next round. So, all right, let's see. We do it as our turn. And we are going to, let's see. We're gonna knock Klaw into the next stage. So Spider-Man's gonna he's gonna thwart for 1. Surveillance team's gonna thwart for 1. So that takes these off. Okay. Web shooter is gonna generate a resource. And then we're going to use Tenacity, Interrogation Room, and Helicarrier to bring out Nick Fury. And usually, Nick, they like to be able to draw 3 cards. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have him deal 4 damage to the enemy. I'm going to have him do 4 damage to the enemy instead. So that's going to bring Klaw down to 1. And Nick Fury is going to attack for 2. He's gone at the end of the round anyway. So that will knock Klaw down to 0. So level 1 Klaw is beaten. So now we move on to stage 2. Now, if I lose this game now in this stage, I'll consider Spider-Man defeated, and I will bring on the next hero for the next session of this. And the hero in waiting is Captain Marvel and her starter deck to beat Klaw. All right. So Klaw goes to stage 2, which means the Immortal Klaw gets showed. I'll show it to you here. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Immortal Klaw and reveal it. And shuffle the encounter deck. Let me see if he was in here, and he is. So the Immortal Klaw comes in, and Klaw gets plus 10 hit points, which stinks. So Klaw has now 28 hit points until that scheme is defeated. So he has 28 hit points, and 3 threat goes on that. Goes on that. And that is it for the turn. So we're already in Klaw stage 2 now. So let's see if we can do it. I got Backflip and I got Black Cat. I'm going to keep these 2 cards, Spider-Man, and that's going to end our turn. And we get 3 cards here. Great Responsibility, Haymaker, and Jessica Jones. We're getting allies, and allies are big help against Klaw in order to deal with his minions. Okay. Right, his turn. And, of course, the Immortal Klaw gives a boost here for at least while that's out. So for the time being, while that's out, it actually gets 3 threat going on the scheme. 3 threat going on the scheme. Klaw will attack. Nick Fury will defend because he's gone at the end of the round anyway. So 1 plus 0 plus, if this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. It does not. So Nick Fury takes it all, but he is gone. So no damage from him. And we get an encounter card, and it is Klaw's Vengeance. When revealed, Klaw attacks you. If this attack deals damage, place 1 threat on the main scheme. So Klaw is going to attack here. And it looks like we're probably going to use Backflip. So Klaw attacks for 1 plus 0. Put Weapons Runner into play, engage with you, and 2. So he does 3 points of damage. He does 3 points of damage to me. The question is, do I want to Backflip out of it or just take it? That brings me down to 2. And I got to get rid of that side scheme before I can do anything. But I really need... Oh, yeah, and he draws 2 cards, by the way, because I got Swinging Web Kick and Webbed Up. Draws 2 cards due to the attacks. Because when the villain attacks you against, draw a card. So we actually got 7 cards to work with here. Question is, I got to make sure I get the Immortal Klaw out of there because I got a Secret Rendezvous is already at 3. I am going to I'm gonna go ahead and take it. So he's gonna go down to 2 points. I'll take a chance here and hope he doesn't scheme out. All right. Actually, you know what? No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go ahead and Backflip out of it. We have Backflip. When you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent all that damage. So we're gonna Backflip, and that will be it. And that is his turn. All right. Okay. All right, back to our turn. So the Immortal Klaw is now in the game. I got to take care of that. Let's see. Web Shooter Surveillance Team is going to go ahead and exhaust and get rid of that. That'll bring this down to 2. Bring it down to 2. Spider-Man is going to attack for 2, get rid of the Weapons Runner. Web Shooter is going to generate a resource, and allow me, which will generate a resource. And we're going to use Great Responsibility and Haymaker to bring out Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones gets +1 thwart for each side scheme in play. There is a side scheme here, so that makes her +1, so she's got 2 thwart. She will thwart for 2, getting rid of the Immortal Klaw. Getting rid of the Immortal Klaw. She does take a damage, by the way, for that. And Klaw now goes back down to 18 points. And Web Shooter is gone. And as much as I want to go ahead and keep swinging Web Kick and Webbed Up, I know it's too early yet to use these 2 cards, although Webbed Up would be great to use to stun him. But I'm going to use these cards to bring out Black Cat. And after you play Black Cat, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Add each card with a printed mental resources discarded to your hand. That's something I didn't do the last time I had her in there. Forgot that rule. So discard the top 2 cards of your deck and add each card with a printed mental resource discard to your hand. So I lost the Web Shooter, but I get to keep Avenger's Mansion. And she is going to attack for 1 and bring him down to 17. And I have defense here, which is good, so he can... Got defense here, so he could probably take another hit. So that brings him down to 17. So that is going to be the end of the turn. Could have thwarted for 1 instead. Maybe I should thwart for 1. You know what? Yeah. Instead of that, I'm going to go ahead, go back. I'm going to thwart for 1 instead, which will bring the 3 down to a 2. But that does put a damage on her. And that will end the turn. Okay, so you draw a card. We got to draw 5 cards. He's going to stay in hero form, so draws 1. Getting the Power of Justice. The counter card because we went through the deck. And we got to reshuffle again. We're actually not doing terribly. We're just doing our best to try to hold out. We get 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3. Surveillance Team, Daredevil, and For Justice. Those are all really good right now. That's something good. Okay, so Klaw's turn. He puts 2 on the scheme, so that means 4. And he attacks for 1. And Black Cat is going to defend. So attacks for 1. Plus 0 plus 3 is 4. She's gone. But we got to deal with 2 encounter cards here. First encounter card is Masters of Mayhem. Each Masters of Evil minion attacks the hero it is engaged with. If no attacks were made this way, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Masters of Evil minion and put it into play engaged with you, then shuffle. That sucks. That sucks. So do we have a Masters of Evil minion here? Nope. So now I got to shuffle, and now another one goes on that. You do not reveal the second encounter card until the first encounter card has been resolved. So now we're looking for a Masters of Evil minion, and its Whirlwind is back. Wonderful. And then the second encounter card is Solid Sound Body. Attached to Klaw. Klaw gains Retaliate. After this character is attacked, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. Hero action, spend energy, mental, physical resources to discard the card. So now he will do 1 damage point after an attack. All right. So now 3 scheme will now go on Secret Rendezvous. We are running out of time, people. Oh, yeah, we didn't draw a card because of the thing there. We got strength because of the attack. Okay. All right, so we got to deal with Whirlwind again, so I can't touch Klaw. I got to do something with Secret Rendezvous. All right. Well, good news is we have the Power of Justice and we have For Justice. So Power of Justice, double the number of resources this card generates while paying for a Justice card. And fourth threat, instead of you pay for this card using mental resources. So that's what it does. So that's going to get the threat off of here, off of Secret Rendezvous. So that takes care of the threat. We're going to use Strength, Surveillance Team, and Avengers Mansion to bring out Daredevil. And Spider-Man's going to attack for 2. Jones will attack for 2. Daredevil attacks for 2 and gets rid of Whirlwind. So we get rid of Whirlwind, and Secret Rendezvous is still again kept off. We did not attack Klaw. He took no damage. Question is, do I want to flip? I really need to flip over. I really, really need to. This is where the first aid cards might come into effect here. But if I flip over, Lucas McCain, welcome there, sir. Let's see. So we're in stage 2 of Klaw. So, I mean, if I flip over, I risk him scheming out, which he can do. I can't flip over. He's got to stay in hero mode. But I got these guys to help me defend. So we're not going to flip. We're going to end our turn. So we get 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Swinging web kick for justice, energy, and enhanced spider sense. 2 swinging web kicks do 16 points of damage, but I have to have 6 resource in order to do it, and I cannot be exhausted here. But we know Klaw is going to attack, so let's see what we get for the card. It depends also what shows up in the encounter deck. All right, so so Klaw's turn. 3 on Secret Rendezvous. He attacks for 1. I got to defend with it, and that's going to be Daredevil. So he attacks for 1, plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4. Daredevil is gone. I do get a card. It is Spider Tracer for the attack. And now the important encounter card, and it is Assault. When revealed, the villain attacks you. Okay, fine. He attacks me again. Now, do I want to defend with Spider-Man? And hope he doesn't do much damage. I only can take 5. He's going to attack me. I'm going to defend with Spider-Man. I'm going to see if I can do this. Let's see if we can do this. I'm not going to use Jessica Jones. I'm going to defend with... Or actually, you know what? No, defend with Jessica Jones. Defend with Jessica Jones. So he defends with Jessica Jones. He attacks me for 1 plus boost. Discard 1 card at random from your hand. That sucks. But I do get another card, and it's webbed up. That doesn't do any damage on Jones, though. And I lose webbed up. Okay. So no damage done on Jessica Jones on that one, because that boost, because that doesn't count, but 1 damages anyway. And the second one is 2. So Jones is now gone. And that is it there. Villain attacks me. Okay, now 18 points of damage. Can I do it on Klaw? I don't think so, because I lost the card. 2 swinging web kicks deal 16 points of damage. And I got 2, 3, 4, 5 resources. I cannot beat him, but I can take him down and wait for another turn. So what we're going to do here is Spider-Man is going to we're going to use 2 energy to play for justice, remove 3 threat from a scheme, which will get this threat out of here. Spider-Man's going to attack for 2, bring Klaw down to 16, retaliate 1, brings him down to 4. We're going to play Spider Tracer, Enhanced Spider Sense, and 1 swinging web kick from another swinging web kick, which will do 8 damage to him, which brings him down to 8. And that is considered an attack. So he's now down to 3. And I'm going to take my chance. I'm going to flip over. Aunt May heals me for 4. Gets me back to 7. And that is my turn. So I decided to bring it all down and bring Klaw down halfway. And that is my turn. So we get 6 cards here. And we get Nick Fury, Spider Tracer, Emergency, Backflip, Power of Justice, and First Aid. Nick Fury could actually be a big help. All right. But the thing about it is Klaw can scheme out here. He can do 8 scheme in 1 turn because Secret Rendezvous automatically. So it's a 3. So his turn. So he could win on this turn. He can do it. So Secret Rendezvous 3 automatically due to that. Klaw schemes for 2. If this card is a boost of 3, he wins. And it is not. It's a boost of 1. So another 3 goes on Secret Rendezvous. So now there is 6. Now there is 6. Now the important encounter card. If that counter card allows him to scheme, he wins. And it is not. It's an armored guard. So Klaw still fighting, but I get an armored guard. It's a guard, which means I can't do any damage to him, to Klaw, due to him being a guard. All right. But it is our turn. It is our turn. Well, Aunt May will heal us. So bring us up to full strength at a 10. The problem is I have absolutely no choice. I must take Secret Rendezvous down, at least because it will win on the next way. Must do something here. So Peter Parker generates a resource. And for that resource, we're going to put Spider Tracer on Armored Guard. When an attached minion is defeated, remove 3 threat from a scheme. And then okay, so that's his free resource. Flips. And we're going to play Emergency, Backflip, Power of Justice, and First Aid to bring out Nick Fury. Fury is going to deal 4 damage to an enemy, which will get Armored Guard out of there. When attached minion is defeated, remove 3 threat from a scheme. That takes this down back to 3. Spider-Man and Nick Fury are both going to attack. For 2. 2 is 4. Bring Klaw down to 4. And that's going to end our turn. Nick Fury, however, can take the damage. So we're cutting it close here. We really are cutting it close. Klaw's down to 4. Spider-Man. So that's the end of our turn. And we get 5 cards. And we get Mockingbird, Genius, Great Responsibility, Surveillance Team, and Backflip. Backflip is great. We don't have to worry about taking damage. Mockingbird can stun, but he can still scheme out if he gets the right cards. He can still scheme out. All right, now it is Klaw's turn. 3 threat goes on the scheme, so it's up to 6. Klaw attacks. Nick Fury defends. So he does 1 plus 0 plus 1 is 2. Nick Fury is gone, but he did his job. Now again, the all-important encounter card. Again, if this card is a card that allows Klaw to scheme, he will win. And it is Gang Up. The villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. That is okay. That is okay. That is okay. So Klaw attacks. Spider-Man has got a 10. There's no minions. So Klaw attacks. 2. Put weapons runner in front of you. 2 still. And then if this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. Ooh, that stunk. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. But okay. If the activation deals damage, you exhaust your hero. Okay. So I'm going to play backflip. When you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent all of that damage. So I take no damage at all. And that does not hurt me. I do not have to exhaust Spider-Man. I do not have to exhaust him. I will play backflip. He does no damage due to backflip. And I think we may have him here. And I do, of course, get 2 cards because he attacked me. Tenacity and Interrogation Room. And we do have him. And we do have him. I don't believe it. I'm going to beat him with a starter deck. And Surge is a boost. Put weapons runner engaged with, but Surge only works when revealed. Because after this card is revealed, and it was not a when revealed, it was used as a boost card. So you put weapons runner into play engaged with you. At least that's how I'm reading it. So, Spider-Man against Klaw. We have him. We have him. We don't need anybody else help, but we can probably do it. So, we have him. So, Spider-Man attacks for 2 on Klaw. Brings him down to 2. And we're going to go ahead and play Great Responsibility and Surveillance Team. 2 resources to put out Tenacity. Spend a physical resource and discard this card. Ready your hero. We have a physical resource. We have Mockingbird. We use her. Spend a physical resource. Discard this card. Ready your hero. Spider-Man readies. Attacks for 2. And Klaw is down to 0. And he is down. How about that? How about that? Starter deck beats Klaw. That is the first time I've ever beaten him with the starter deck. I got lucky on a couple of draws, but that's the one thing about Marvel Champions, people. This game is never the same twice. No matter, you can play the same deck over and over again, but because of the way the cards are, it's never the same game twice. So Spider-Man lives on to the next villain, and that will be Ultron from the core set. So Spider-Man continues to stay the course in this starter deck. If I had lost against Klaw in stage 2, Captain Marvel would have been up next. But Spider-Man stays in there. He knocks out Klaw. On the second stage throughout the entire time. Pretty much the whole game on second stage. And I did everything I could to keep it where it was at. And yeah, of course, you got the retaliate. You got the retaliate because I hit him twice. So Spider-Man actually goes down to 8, but it didn't matter. He was still fine, even with the sound somebody retaliate. So we beat him. How about that? For those of you who are watching this video, wow. That's the first time I ever beat him with the starter deck. And I still had Interrogation Room and Genius ready. I could have brought Mockingbird. She could have finished him off or anything else. That's why I still think Spider-Man, with all the heroes they've come out with, and right now there are 28 heroes, I think, available from Marvel Champions. When this game first came out, when this game first came out, there weren't that many. You only had 5 heroes, but you've added so many more. This game right now is so versatile. And like I said, it's never the same game twice. It's never the same game twice. So it's never the same game twice. You can play it any way, and really, it got out to a tough start, but you stayed the course, and Spider-Man does it. And every hero is different, plays differently. The Vision that just came out is very tricky. But that's a victory for Spider-Man over Klaw. Next Marvel Champions matchup will be Spider-Man versus Ultron with the starter deck. So can I beat Ultron with the starter deck? A lot of people think Ultron is one of the tougher heroes, tougher villains. He is, but I've only lost to him once, and that was playing Iron Man, because I couldn't get the Iron Man out fast enough to beat Ultron. I think Klaw is tougher. Mostly because of the minions he has in the Masters of Evil. So that's it, everyone. I may do some Glory Days boxing a little later tonight. We'll see how I feel. So that's a victory for Spider-Man as he conquers Klaw. Once again, a victory for him with the starter deck. Steeler fan and Lucas McCain, thank you for joining me. Please leave a like on your way out through the movie theater, because I'll say that you'll watch this on the big screen. On your way out through the movie theater. Subscribe if you've not done so to anyone who has not done to subscribe to my channel, and make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong, and we'll see you guys next time. Spider-Man knocks out Klaw. We'll see you next time for Spider-Man versus Ultron in our next Marvel Champions. Have a good one, everyone.